Hi guys, Catmaster here with another video, and today I want to talk a little bit about this Seismic Trap, Bladefall Trap, Poison, Damage Over Time, Trapper. It's complicated, so let me explain to you in this video. So, this is the character. As you can see, we just died at level 81. Make sure to check out the video where I go over the death of this character as well as the previous iteration, which I just uploaded before this one. We'll go about the gear, but first we're gonna talk a little bit about the build with gameplay of Expedition in the background. So, by the way, if you don't know the channel and you want to stay in touch, watch more videos, make sure to subscribe. I'm so proud of having set that up. Anyway, Bladefall Poison Trap was a really popular build back in 2.1, 2.2 Piranda's Talisman League. So that's what inspired me, because when I saw Seismic Trap, which got a massive buff in this patch, let me quickly exit the full screen here. I can show you here in the content notes, Seismic Trap had a about 40% more damage buff to the physical base damage at all levels, and a massive increase of the base radius of the small bursts and the large bursts, right? If you know Seismic Trap lasts a base duration of 3.5 seconds. I mean, the trap lasts 4 seconds until it detonates, and then the skill itself goes on for 3.5 seconds. And during this duration, it releases a number of waves, and each wave deals damage in a line, right? It releases small bursts along a line, and they end in a large burst. Now, I don't know which one of these is small and which one is large, but you can see that with a little bit of AoE scaling, I don't even know I have any in the tree. No, I actually don't have any AoE scaling as far as I know. This actually gives quite a little bit of overlap, and the build was pretty strong. I looked at it, and of course I decided it could either play this as a hit-based trap, or I could try and make it work with poison because of the massive nerf buff to both Seismic Trap and the global buff to poison, where poison is now 30% instead of 20% of the base hit damage. I thought it would be a great idea to revive the idea of a poison trapper. And Seismic Trap, in case you don't know, is a cooldown skill. So per default, it doesn't have only the things that are just named, but also comes with an 8-second base cooldown. You can have up to 3 charges per default, but in between the charge regenerations, there's 8 seconds. And that makes it so that you can't have it up all the time. You can't really clear exclusively with Seismic Trap, and that means I just needed another trap in the setup, and I decided that would be Bladefall, because back in the day that was the skill to do it. And turns out it's not all that great. Actually, Bladefall has pretty meager base damage, and despite my best efforts and putting it into a pseudo 5-link with the Deerstalker unique boots, it just didn't deal all that much damage for clearing. And later on I found out in Path of Building that the Decay support gem that has been around for ages and that has always been like a solid minimum DPS option, has now, in the context of all other support gems being nerfed, and it didn't receive any nerf at all, has now so much power in comparison to the regular setup that I don't even think, at least for Bladefall Poison Trap with the meager base DPS, I don't think that there's any way that you can realistically expect to make Bladefall Poison Trap deal more damage than a Decay Bladefall Trap setup. Now, I haven't POB'd this out fully. There may be a point where with crit scaling and Perfect Agony and all the goodness where you really go all out on the poison. There may be a point where poison is better than decay, but what I ended up doing is I just went out of the specific scaling in the tree that was for ailments, where I still kept like 2 poison clusters in order to get 100% chance to poison on the seismic trap for single target. But other than that, I scaled the majority of my damage via generic scaling, trap damage or trap and mine damage, and like, yeah, just stuff that would apply to all 3. The hit portion of the seismic trap, which is massive by the way, and the poison resulting from the seismic trap, as well as the damage over time from the decay. And decay is the support gem, I'll show you real quick, that applies a debuff that does not stack. Here, decay support makes supported skills inflict decay on hit, dealing in this case on a level 18 gem 752 chaos damage per second for 8 seconds. So this is not only twice as long as poison, but it also is a significantly higher base damage than the poison resulting from Bladefall, at least in the setups that I tried and POB'd so far. And what you need to pay attention to though here is that decay obviously does not work with the poison supports. You cannot use deadly ailments or swift. I don't know about Swift Affliction, is that just damage over time or ailment damage over time? But basically what's best is Trap and Mine damage, and Void Manipulation is great to scale decay. You could also use, I think, Efficacy, but I think that would be lower because that got nerfed. Not everything applies to decay is what I'm trying to say, right? Not everything that would apply to the Bladefall or to the poison would apply to decay as well. You need to pick your supports carefully, but the way I did it was like this. And the trap support comes from the Deerstalker boots. And yeah, it would clear things pretty well. In fact, actually so well that after I died to a silly little mistake in a trial where I zoned out, if you're interested in the deaths, again, check out the other video, I'll link it down below. I did try a tier 12 map in standard, even though the character was only 81 and I was currently still farming white maps and progressing into yellows. I tried a tier 12 strand in standard, and instantly when I logged into standard, someone asked me whether I had some chromatics for them, and I thought that was a joke. That's why I said, why I sent the smiley face. But anyway, so you can quickly see how the level 81 character clears a tier 12 map here. I had to switch on my auras again because those were obviously off. But yeah, just alternating between Seismic Trap and Bladefall Trap, because the decay obviously stacks with the poison. Decay is only one instance, you can't stack several instances of decay, but poison can stack infinitely, which is also why I'm actually kind of convinced that obviously, at least in some niche cases, poison is better than decay on the Bladefall trap, and that niche case is when you throw a hell load of traps and you stack up a lot. But while clearing, you kind of want to never throw traps more than once per pack, and then it's counterproductive to use the poison setup versus the decay setup. So yeah. And another thing is that the poison setup doesn't have the decay damage, but the decay setup will still have some sort of poison damage. So not only is the decay DPS better than the poison DPS at pretty much all stages that I tested for the build up to this point, but also the decay version still has some poison, because some of the chance to poison is global and not from the chance to poison support gem. I was overall pretty happy with this. Obviously, this was never meant to clear red maps at this point, but as you can see, I could somewhat clear the map and kill my objective, the Architect and the Incursion. I didn't full clear the Incursion, but I also didn't do it very smart. If you don't have super high damage and you take long to kill the Architects and Incursions, you're better advised to go the opposite direction of the Architect that you want to kill, and to kill all the monsters on the opposite side first to bring up that timer, and then go to the other Architect so that you can full clear. That's kind of the mistake that I made. I'm pretty sure I could full clear them if I tried, but obviously with effort. You have to put in effort, but I had level 18 gems only and a 5 link on the Seismic trap. So assuming that you get another support gem and you get actually the gems up to 20 and you get some more scaling for the damage over time in the tree, this would have probably been a really decent build to farm red maps on. Probably not a good boss killer. Probably actually not worth even trying. At least in hardcore and softcore, you could probably strip it off a lot of its survivability and then go for the full perfect agony, crit, trap, poison setup. But it would still be really hard this patch because you can't get crit chances lucky on flasks anymore, and a lot of sources of crit multiplier, critical strike multiplier have been consecutively nerfed in consecutive patches throughout the last year or so. So yeah, not sure. I could try and POB it out, but I haven't done that yet, and I just wanted to get the idea out here because I've seen people tinker around with Seismic Trap, but I haven't actually seen anyone do a poison Seismic Trap setup, although I'm sure someone does somewhere. But Tarkycat is doing an interesting Seismic Trap setup where he's using the Exsanguinate Trap and the physical damage over time scaling and physical damage scaling from the tree. It looks a little bit different, and obviously Tarkycat is playing in softcore solo Cellphone, so he doesn't care as much about picking up the ailment avoidance in the Ranger start down there around Crystal Skin that I was going for. So he builds the tree quite a bit different, and I probably wouldn't replicate his setup for me in SSF, but in HCSSF, especially not with the no logout challenge, which is honestly kind of stupid. But we're gonna stick with it. We're gonna not make mistakes again, and we're probably gonna go again with some chaos damage over time stuff because I really like the archetype. We're probably gonna go back to Occultist, Bane Blight, maybe Essence Drain Contagion. I had so much fun with the build, and yeah, just throw that in, farm some maps, farm some good items, and then try another one of the new skills after. I have no idea. I'll link the POB of the character at 81 down below if you're interested in checking it out, what I was able to throw together in my first couple of days of SSF. And yeah, kind of lost motivation. I mean, I really liked this build and I would have liked to play it, but I kind of lost motivation because I lost so much good gear. I lost my second pair of Deerstalker, and I'm just not confident I'll be able to bring the character back together better than it was right now. But we did get a lot of stuff done. I unlocked all my heist members today and leveled them up a little bit, and there's also also a bunch of pretty decent gear in my stash right now. So I'm happy. Anyway, make sure to come over to twitch.tv/catmasterop if you want to see some live action of whatever I'm about to do. And other than that, make sure you subscribe for the next video, because that's what the YouTube channel is for. And let me know in the comments down below what has been your most interesting build so far in 3.15 Expedition. Until then, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.